this particular book completely took me by surprise. Jerry is a good friend for many years, but I do have some vague awareness of the scholarship on popular culture and Hindi cinema, and I really felt that this is one of the best books I have ever read on this topic. And I feel that there has been a lot of work which has gone into it, but not necessarily consciously. I think Jerry is simply immersed in both the city of Mumbai as well as a critical understanding of Hindi cinema. And I'm sure he has read and collected a lot of these essays over years and years, and it was not a very difficult job to actually collate them together and not compromise a bit on quality.
You know, the thing is that when I was growing up, Hindi film was not what you did. You didn't actually, you're not supposed to actually watch Hindi films. But I had a father who did not want us to be mocked, me and my sister to be mocked about our Hindi accents. So he actually sent us for films every week and he paid for them. So, you know, I grew up watching Papi Pet Ka Sawal Hai and Kuwari Bahu and all kinds of odd films that came along, and including the great classics. And later I began to watch them on morning shows because I couldn't bear my education. So I thought I'd just go out and get one at the B-grade cinemas. But also it's not enough for anyone who's watching films avidly to just watch the films. You also want to read about the films. And of course, so that meant I started reading magazines, film magazines, which were the only things that actually talked about film. I was reading these film magazines and I was generally reading them in barbers' shops. I didn't bother about how timely the news was. I didn't particularly care. I could read a 6-month-old magazine with as much enthusiasm as a new one. This gave me the odd but exciting feeling of living in several time zones at once. While reading a court-martial column in Stardust, I had to piece things together. From what I remembered, say, Gogo and Lulu were sworn enemies. Sometimes the journalist in charge of the court-martial would remind Gogo about the problems he had with Lulu. Gogo would say that there was no problem. The journalist would then remind Gogo that Lulu was replacing him in the big banner's forthcoming film. Gogo would then say that he had turned down the film because of a dates problem. Then Gogo might add that it was all the media's fault, that journalists were forever adding their own mirch masala and causing trouble. Bollywood, as it was presented in these magazines, was a wonderful space in which nothing was as it was supposed to be. In the real world, the middle class rose betimes to form queues to buy milk and worried about the availability of kerosene. Out there in Juhu, the stars only worried about the availability of time. Shashi Kapoor, after Chor Machaye Shor, signed more than 36 films. He was working on all of them at once. But we did not grudge them this difference. We enjoyed it. It was because the stars led such different lives that we were so fond of them and so addicted to these magazines. I remember reading about Jitendra sympathizing with the common man about the price of onions. He said something like, it was all right for the stars, but what about ordinary people? Balraj Sahani peed in his pants out of camera fear. Should you ever talk to anybody who has stage fright or does not like to speak in public, tell them Balraj Sahani peed in his pants because Anwar Hussain was acting with him. Now, Anwar Hussain is a fairly decent actor and a nice trained actor, and he stood in the background of many shots and held his back and said, Beta, tum jao, beta, sheher jao, and then, he died while Beta went to the sheher. She took aim and fired, instantly drilled a hole in the tin can. I thought it was a fluke. I said in a condescending but encouraging manner, wow, very good. Shall I try again? She said innocently. Sure, but don't move, she said. I went over to replace the tin can properly, but she asked me to stop and fired all 5 bullets in quick succession. All the bullets hit the can. Your turn, she said. The fastest gun in Bombay. Tan-ta-dang! Stardust, for instance, I wanted to do Best of Neeta's Natter through the ages. Now, Neeta's Natter, Neeta is like Lala. She was not one person, right? She was several people at several times were Neeta. And from one cat to another, meow. But very often, it is very difficult to get something that is well written as well as referring to someone who's alive or someone who's alive in the popular imagination. Because the most nasty pieces were reserved for the smallest of stars.
Right.
Because if you really attack the big star, they wouldn't be your cover shoot next month, right? So you took on Bak Bak Barkha, okay, who was Reena Roy's sister. You took on Sarika's mom, who was always all over the place. You took on fading people, you know. And there's something about putting, you know, why do we make books here, Siddharth? I feel a little bit like it's like you hope that it's going to, when you're a journalist, you write for a week, you know it's going to last for a week, maybe a day, sometimes a month if it's a monthly magazine. You hope that the book will have a slightly longer shelf life, a slightly longer period in which it's alive and well and happy and talking to people, right? While all the rest of your writing is consigned to oblivion. So you think, do I want to put this thing, you know, who was Bak Bak Barkha? She was not a contestant. She was just one person who came and talked very much at parties. I could imagine myself being Bak Bak Jerry Pinto, you know, very easily. And then would I want to be immortal?
I just have one, you know, most anthologies, of course, there's always omissions and people complain to you, but then I have a serious complaint, which is, you know, a lovely section from Kiran Nagarkar's Rahul and Eddie on Dil Dekhe Dekho, which is not there, which is something which I would say should come to your next one.
In Goa, when you said mea culpa, mea maxima culpa, which means my fault, my own grievous fault, I strike myself on the breast. Kiran, if there is a second edition, and you could all help me have a second edition by buying copies right now, so that the edition runs out and we do it again, Dil Dekhe Dekho will definitely be in there. And that section will be in there. What a stupid idiot.
No, you should have asked me. You didn't even ask me about this when you were working on this book.
You know,
Normally.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.